welcome back to Survivor Not by Chance. As I do in every episode, I do want to provide my disclaimer. I am not a licensed therapist. I am not a licensed psychologist. The information you hear in this podcast is for individuals who want to hear a story to heal. My goal is to help heal a community one person at a time that have suffered through childhood trauma, domestic violence, relationship abuse in any form, and hopefully my story will be able to help them heal. Since the last time I had my podcast, I do want to say there has been drastic changes in my life. I decided to speak positive things into my life, and I wanted to find a way that I can be more helpful to others. As a result, I did go to school and I was able to become a life coach. And being a life coach has been amazing. I've had the experience to meet so many people all over the world, and I have been able to help so many people all over the world. And I'm so grateful that I have been this vessel to help people overcome their struggles. So today, the topic will be you are your thought. As individual people, we think sometimes, oh, well, I'm not going to be able to make it through this situation. Oh, this is going to kill me. This disease is going to take my life over. I'm never going to be able to live, etc., etc. Or I'm going to take this exam and I'm going to fail. And guess what? You end up failing because you spoke it into existence. So I wanted to speak about what speaking things into existence means. So the word speak by Google is defined as say something in order to convey information, an opinion, or a feeling. The second definition is talk to in order to reprove or advise. So when you're speaking words from your mouth, you're conveying information. When you're conveying information, you're speaking it where? Where are you speaking it to? Existence. So existence is according to Google, existence is the fact or state of living or having objective reality. The second definition is continued survival. I love that part. The next definition is a way of living. The next definition is any of a person's supposed current, future, or past lives on this earth, all that exists, or a being or entity. So let's put together speak into existence. When we speak things out of our mouth, or when we convey information for continued survival. Let's put it in those terms. For example, I am saying I want to start running every day because I just want to tone and get into shape. So as a result, every day I'm going to say I'm going to get up in the morning at 6 a.m. and go out and run. I'm speaking into existence, which also means I'm relaying information as a way of living. You can take it into so many different forms. The reason I wanted to talk about this topic is because I've had several situations in my life where I would say things about myself. I would say, "Oh, I'm not pretty. Oh, I'm fat. Oh, I need to lose weight. Oh, I need to do this. Oh, I'm not so smart." And when you say those things into the atmosphere, you're speaking over your life. And when you're speaking over your life, your brain is processing the information and saying that you cannot do this, you are not worth this, and you do not deserve this. And you begin to believe in your brain and your heart and your mind that those things exist for you. Most people are generally humble, and as a result, we tend not to think more of ourselves than we're supposed to, in quotation marks. But you have to believe within yourself that you're more than what people think that you are. Because if you don't believe it, guess what? No one else is going to. I said to myself, this year, I'm going to start speaking the things that I want. I said I'm going to speak a higher income into my life. I said I'm going to speak a healthy mindset into my life. I said I'm going to speak peace into my life. I said that I'm going to speak more things that I can't say right now because I want to keep it private. But I just said I wanted to speak more things into myself and into my life that I know that I deserve and I know that I need. And as a result, I'm grateful to God that I'm starting to see those things manifested into my life. I used to think I was not worthy of getting love or receiving love. I used to believe that I was not worthy to have a certain amount of money in my bank account. I used to believe that I was not worthy to have the things that I have in regards to having my children or regards to having my career or anything in that aspect. I used to think that I was not worth having peace. Peace is something that is so priceless. No one can pay for it. There are millionaires, billionaires who wish that they can have peace and they do not have it. But I began to speak into me and speak over my own life and say, I'm worth this. I deserve this. And guess what? I will get it. Until I started to believe how I should be or how my life should be, until I started to speak it over my life, those things did not come. I was always sad and depressed and I didn't know why. I was always going through issues and situations and I couldn't figure out, how do I get out of this? How do I do better? How can I move forward? It all goes into speak it into existence. For example, if you want to have a better future, you have to make peace with your past. You have to look at the things that you've gone through in your past. Look at the people who've come in your past who did not mean you well. And you have to forgive them and move forward. In order to have peace in your present, you have to make peace with your past. You have to think about the situations that are going on. Everything that you say out of your mouth is going to become who you are. You ever said, oh man, today's going to be a bad day? Guess what? That day ended up being a bad day. Or you ever say, you know what? I'm going to make this day a really good day. No matter what happens, guess what? Your day end up being a good day. It may be a situation that may occur. And when it does happen, you say, you know what? That's a minor situation. I'm going to move past it and I'm going to move forward. When I was in college, let's go back, rewind. Before I went to college, I was in high school and I was a foster child. I had no idea how I was going to go to college, let alone pay for the application fees, pay for the admission process, pay for the SATs. Just to take the SATs, it was, I can't even remember, maybe $50 a test. And back then, long time ago, that was a lot of money to me because I didn't have a job at the time. I didn't know how I was going to make it through, but I was fortunate enough to get fee waivers to take the SAT. Fee waivers were basically a piece of paper that I would take to this register for my SATs, and it was replace of me actually taking the test. I also didn't know how I was going to pay for college. I absolutely had no money for school. I couldn't reach my parents. I didn't know where they were. I didn't know where to begin. All my friends are like, oh, well, my mom filled out the FAFSA, which is basically the financial aid information online so that they can find out how much money they would get from the government or if they would need to get loans. I'm like, I don't even know how to fill that out, let alone if I needed a loan. I don't have a co-signer, but I believed in the power of speaking good things into my life. And I just kept saying, I'm going to get a full scholarship to college. I'm going to get a full scholarship to college. And I'm going to have enough money to pay for everything, including my books. And I would say that every single day, every single day. I'm going to get a full scholarship to college and I'm going to have enough money to pay for my books. And I said that every morning I woke up, and believe it or not, it was May and graduation was a month away. And I'm like, I have no scholarships. I don't know how I'm going to pay for it. But you know what? I believe you, God. I'm going to get a scholarship, a full scholarship, and I'm going to have money to pay for my books. And I just kept saying it and saying it and saying it and saying it. June came, maybe halfway through June. I can't remember exactly when. Slowly but surely, the scholarships started to come in. I had applied to every scholarship you can think of. And every one that I applied to, I wasn't getting a response. But slowly, they did start coming in. And I received one scholarship from one foundation. I received another scholarship from another foundation. I received the full benefit package with financial aid. They gave me every grant that you can think of any student will get at the total allotted amount. I also received a scholarship that if I had a remaining balance, whatever that remaining balance was, including for me to stay on campus, that scholarship paid for it. And I was just like, wait a minute. I didn't get a full scholarship to the college I was accepted to, but I did get a full scholarship from different parts of different foundations that allowed me to be loan free. When I say talking about a blessing, just from me speaking that over my life, imagine how many more blessings I can have, how many more situations I can be more fulfilled or obtain just from me speaking things over my life. When I came to come to buy a house, I'm like, I didn't even have the money to buy a house. Literally, I did not have money to buy a house at all. I didn't have money to buy furniture. I didn't have money to move, and I didn't even have money for the down payment. One day I was home, and I always had this hobby of I love to look at houses. It's just been, I don't know, it's just always been a hobby. I've always loved watching HGTV, watch all these different house shows, and I learned so much just from watching the shows, and it was always intriguing to me excuse me, to drive at different locations and just look at the houses. I would go online and look at the market industry and see how the housing market would change and fluctuate in regards to interest rate and in regards to the amounts and how much it would cost to purchase homes in different locations, the taxes, etc. So one day I was home looking at houses online, and randomly I found a house that I liked in a certain area. So I knew I didn't have any money, but I said, you know what? I want to go to an open house. So I clicked on a link to send an email to the realtor to see if I can, look at a house. Well, this realtor was absolutely amazing. Believe it or not, the very same night, it was like 9 o'clock at night on a Saturday, I was looking at houses. The realtor sent me no, actually, she didn't send me anything. She called me at like 9:30 and said, I received your inquiry in regards to looking at this house at such and such address. Are you interested in booking an appointment? I'm like, you know what? Sure, why not? I'm not doing anything. So I booked the appointment, and then I said, but I don't know if I will qualify for the house, and I don't know how much I would qualify for it altogether. She said, oh, don't worry about it. I have someone who can look up that information for you first thing Sunday morning, and she'll call you and let you know what you're pre-approved for. And I'm like, oh, okay. So Sunday morning, the loan officer called me. I gave her my information, and within an hour, she called me back and said, oh, you're pre-approved for this amount. And I'm like, wait a minute, are you sure? I'm like, the last bank I spoke to told me I was not going to get anything nowhere that amount. Are you sure you put the right information in? She said yes. So I said, okay, let's go look. So I found some more information online. I found a house that I liked. I told my realtor that, this is one of the houses I wanted her to put on the list. She said, sure, no problem. She added the house on the list. But she had other houses she wanted to show me as well, because it was a long distance from where I was currently living. It was about an hour and a half drive. So I'm like, I want to look at all the houses as quickly as possible within this short time span that I have. So we went looking at the houses, and with us looking at the houses, I found my dream home. And I said to her, I love this house and I want to put an offer in. She said, okay, cool. I put my good faith offer in that day. Mind you, just the night before, I didn't even know if I would be approved to purchase a home. I put my offer in, and the good faith offer was a small amount, so it allowed me to put that amount down. And then I knew I was going to get my income tax return within a few weeks. So I figured I'll be able to use that as a down payment. Plus, I was saving every single dime that I had to get the house once I found out I was able to get it. Needless to say, I did not know how much money I was going to have to put down. The realtor said, well, normally closing costs could be between anywhere from $6,000 to $10,000. I'm like, oh my God, I have none of that in my bank account. How the heck is this going to work? I'm like, you know what? I'm believing I'm going to get this house. I'm believing I'm going to get this house. And I just kept praying, and I kept saying, I'm going to get this house. I put my good faith offer in. I'm it's no way that I cannot. I already gave these people my money. Something has to work. 2 weeks later, after me putting in an offer on the house, I got laid off. I'm like, oh my goodness. No, actually it wasn't 2 weeks. I had been planned to take my children away to Disney World. So I put my offer in February. I planned to take my children to Disney World in April. I took my children to Disney World, and then we came back from vacation. I came